So far we've drained the fluid out. We have the 14 bolts on the plate taken care of, and we unplugged the electrical connection. Basically we're going to take this out. And so what we're doing here is an uninstall of the stock unit on the 455 and an installation of the rear PTO. We're also doing an uninstall of the rear PTO on the 445 and an installation of the stock unit. So I've tried to fast forward and stick in some voiceover while I'm trying to go over what we're doing here. All we're doing here is loosening up stuff, trying to get this stock panel off the 455, and then we're going to switch over to the 455 and get the 445 and get the rear PTO off. Oh, there it is. All right.
Looks like brand new.
Yeah, they always do, man. Just about, even the older ones. They look like they're, yeah, let me get in there for a shot. So we got the cover off. That's what it looks like for a stock unit. And, 20 some years later, this is still pretty much brand new looking on the inside, for the most part. See that stuff right there? I think most of this stuff stays, and we take off that and replace it. That's a shot of your K90 series transaxles. Now we'll head to the other unit as this dries out, or this drains out, and we'll open up the rear of the 445 that has the rear PTO on it. So in this one we're taking off the rear bracket first, then we'll get into the other stuff. No, I'm good. Where's those other wrenches you had that you just took away? Oh, they're still on there. Okay. Nah. All right. Man, this Armor All is crazy. You got on everything, man. So I mentioned the Armor All here. The previous owner, between me and Steven, basically doused the whole tractor in some type of Armor All type stuff, like everywhere, not just the tires. So, and on here we do the electrical. It has an electrical connection there, and then there's another electrical connection here. I think these are different, so we'll have to remember about that. Do you have the? There are two electrical connections there, and there's two that go in and out of the PTO. They're attached to the PTO cover. So, and they are slightly different, so we'll just have to figure out which one goes to which. Well, probably if we don't get them right, they just won't work. Well, we got it on video. I don't know if we had exactly on video when I took it off, but. So there's two covers here, or this is, okay, so you may have to redo this cover too, because there's two covers here, and I can't remember which bolts go all the way through.
Will it print it out?
Either that or bring over the other cover. I can use that as a template. So these are why people should watch my videos, so they cannot make the same mistakes as me. So those three up top, and then this one. I did have an extension on this. Can you check over there to see if there's an extension on it? So when I made that comment about people watching my videos, I was only partially joking because there's a lot of mistakes I'll make, but then I try to correct them on there. And if I did this as a regular business or something, I'd like to think I'd be a little bit better, but since I only install or uninstall one of these probably like every other year or something, I don't really get that good at it. So basically by relying on just regular average mechanical skills to get by here. And we didn't actually reseal the second cover on the rear PTO. It was sealed up just fine. As you'll see that we've taken off these two covers. They're both pretty solidly on there with just the sealant without it being bolted there. Of course we bolted them down and stuff like that correctly, but anyway, you can see what's going on here. So just to give you an update, so we've taken all the parts off that should attach this larger unit to the back of the transmission. And I decided to go ahead and put each of the bolts in there from the top. As you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 long ones, 1 on the left side and 3 on the right side. And then there's a couple bolts here, down here, 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 and here that stay. I believe they'll stay in there. I don't think they're long enough. Obviously that one's long enough. As you can see, this one has a bump on it, so that doesn't go all the way. And then that one I do not believe goes all the way right here. And I think these are the same, just because there's not spaces for them on the stock plate. So we'll bump this thing off and then get it going as well. Okay, so the item we just took off was this. Has a tension pin on that. That's the last thing we'll do before we knock this thing off. It has all the bolts out, and then these are the 2 electrical plugs mentioned before. And I think these run all the way up to the dash, so we're gonna have to unplug those. We'll show you that as well. And here we go with this piece right here. So here we're just tapping the rear PTO cover off. This one was a little bit more persistent than the last one at staying on there, but we did get it off without damaging any of the surfaces or anything like that. Just even using that piece of wood and getting it off so we can move on with the rest of the project and do an install on the 455.
Yep.
There we go. It's coming now. We probably could use a catch pan. We're probably out of them now.
Oh, you're good.
Okay.
So it is the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that big old gear right there. Here's the inside of the rear PTO. And then that gear is, the bottom gear is the one we replace. I believe the middle one is the same and the top one are the same. Again, I've done this before, but it's been well over a year, probably a year and a half, so don't sass me. All right, so we'll clean this up and then take you to the next one. Dang it. So then we'll take this. All right, excellent. Just like that, man, you got a rear PTO. Now, I don't know how that seem like that shaft is bigger.
No. Like it's longer. It's at the end of its splines. You need a dowel?
I need something to
Punch it in.
What? You got it. No, you're good to go.
Alright, yank on it.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere.
Okay.
So this has a bump on it. The bump goes inside. So at the end of this little section right here, we're trying to line up the rest of the stuff, and then Steven is putting on the black RTV high oil resistant sealant on the edge of it. Okay, so we got the plate ready to put on there. We have a guide right here, and then the top center one is a guide too, so we should be able to put it on there and then not have to line up the bolts. They should line up all the bolts. The matter of just getting it up against this hose away from that and stuff, and then keeping the oil out from dripping on it a little bit. And then we're gonna, after we get it up there, we'll let it sit for 24 hours before he puts the fluid back in. So here we go. I'm gonna get it from this angle. Through here?
Down to you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Don't put your finger in it.
Don't put my finger in it. You want to take that hose away and pull the hose away? Yeah. Oh, yeah. We have gear that we have to attend with. Does that look like it's... So here we're just trying to line up everything. The rear PTO, it seemed like they needed a little more persuasion to get lined up perfectly, but we're able to use those two basically sort of dowels almost to line up all the bolts. We did need to persuade one way or another to get some of the bolts in, but all of them went in straight after we got them squared away, and that was a concern that Steven had, but it seemed to work just fine. So I think when we get it all buttoned up and the oil back in, I don't think we're going to have any issues. And it just took a little bit of time to get this in there, and then I think what I'm going to try to do is put those bolts in and get them squared away during this time too. Let it go that long before you did it. Ben, I'd leave it like snug right now.
Yeah, we're sucking it now.
And then go do that one. And then we'll come back to do this one. It only needs to sit for a short amount of time, and I think it only tells you a couple minutes. Maybe an hour at most, I think. I mean, if you're hitting it a day later, it's already dry, man. There's no point in doing it. Okay, so we're gonna put the PTO lever on, and it goes to these two bolts right there and right there. So I've kind of taken part of the 3-point out to get access in there. You could put it down, but the joint is still, or the rock shaft is still where it hits this bolt. So we're going to try to get in there with enough access to try to bolt that thing on, and then we'll reattach the 3-point hitch. Okay, so these are actually carriage bolts that go in this side of this bracket, and then we just had the regular bolts, so that's what we dealt with. But we did take this apart, the 3-point hitch, just to detach it here to get a little access in there. I did put the 3-point hitch back on already, and then this part goes in through the frame to the stubby right here that sticks out of the rear PTO housing, and then there's a pin, as you can see right here. That's a tension pin that you just push on in there. And then you have this spring right here that attaches to the lever just to keep some tension on it. And then you have your selection from no rear PTO to, I think, mid and rear PTO, and then just rear PTO. I think that's the breakdown. It could be the reverse, I'm not sure. So we'll have another electrical piece that goes down this way, and then there's a module that goes inside the side of the dash that will connect next. I got it going now, so just don't, when that's not red, it's not, you know how this works. You got it, so.
Am I pointing it the right direction?
So
or
yeah,
do I need
if
to
you
turn
see
it
me in
around?
the screen, you're good.
I don't need to turn it like this. Okay, I see how it works.
Don't be a smart ass.
No, these are important questions.
Okay, so we'll come in a little closer. So now we got the electrical connections. This is a piece that goes up to the midpoint and then goes back to the PTO. So we'll put that over there for now. And then this piece, so it's supposed to be hung up this way. All I did was use a zip tie onto something up here, and then use this 3-point connector, and this 4-point connector right here. These are like unused. Does that go like that? That goes like that. It's good if you know what you're doing.
Next video will be how to connect quick connects.
Yeah, this thing's not going all the way in there. I don't trust that. Oh, maybe it's. Well, if the PTO don't work, we can start there. And then this is the. Yeah, I think that's the one.
That goes to the mid.
I don't know. This one disconnects and it goes in there. I should have unhooked these before the video. There we go. And the yellow and the yellow. And then that'll go up there somewhere. You can probably just leave it like that, really. Alright, you can cut it off. Okay, so the long piece you connect is this dead end right here that's under the left-hand side frame of the tractor. So that goes right there, and then will be run this way back to the PTO. And then we'll plug in the two pieces of the other end on that, but I'll get this done without, this won't be on the video, but this is where that 4-part connector goes, and I'll pick up the next one in a minute. Okay, so that long piece of wire harness that I showed you earlier runs all the way from way up there through the inside of the frame rail, the 2 points back here. They look like they're the same kind of connectors, but one will go on one way and the other one won't go on the other way, so you can get them the right way, because I could not remember which one they go to, but there are these two connections. And then we'll also put together this and this as well. That's for the PTO solenoid, and then that's the last bit of it. And then we'll get the rest of the shield back on. Needs to be tightened, and that's it. That's your installation of the rear PTO on the Ford. Again, thanks for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. If it was, please hit the like button, and also please hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more. These were just a few photos, still shots of the project that we were doing on this video. At the end of this video, there'll be some links that you can click that were also other projects, sub-projects like this one of the larger project, switching stuff from my old 455 to Steven's new to him 455. Thanks for watching. Bye.